Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brief reflection and description on what I learned from ILT 5003 this summer. Hope you enjoy. I am currently a freshman and junior English teacher at a public high school in Northside. And it wasn't after working for 3 years that I realized I needed to pursue a master's in higher education, specifically for curriculum and instruction. And even though this came a little later, I was glad that I was able to have some experience before getting into this degree plan. I went ahead and chose this master's program because I felt like I needed to know the ins and outs of what makes curriculum and then eventually how it manifests into instruction. And so I feel that with some of the research that I've been able to do and read upon, I'm able to now take those ideas and really filter what I'm expected to do in my field versus what I should do and how I'm going to how I'm better going to serve my students and my community and my greater school community at large. This has required me to read so much and to analyze everything that I've read and question at times what I've read and see just how relevant those ideas are and if I'm able to implement those things in my own way in my field. I wanted to know where the curriculum that we have came from. I wanted to know the powers that were behind it. I wanted to know the current impacts of that curriculum. I wanted to know if there was research or studies that prove that certain theories and certain ideas either do or do not work. Aside from the curriculum, I was witnessing microaggressions and biases within my own classroom, and my lessons did not do a thing to relieve this. It was in this process that I realized I needed to pursue higher education and learn more about what I was feeling and give those feelings words and have the words turned into meaningful action. I wanted to be a professional but not sacrifice my personal ethics or go against ethics for education. I wanted to continue to be inquisitive but needed someone to answer these questions. Interdisciplinarity is defined as a process by which we look at issues or topics through multiple content areas and understanding the connections and origins of each. The goal is to know and understand and enact change in each area of study and realize their interconnectedness. Interdisciplinary studies helps educators form questions, analyze data, create new ideas, and develop plans for wholesome and inclusive learning for all. Through the readings and discussion with my classmates, I've realized that many times politics is not what people envision when it comes to education. We have seen the overt and explicit at times, but they are more pervasive and subtle within the curriculum. We first start off with learning about the history of education in brief and why we have certain political struggles in education depending on which side of the spectrum you fall under. In this course, we also learned about the various educational learning theories that are still debated today. With these theories, educators have different perspectives and different intertwining intersectionalities about these ideas and how to implement them. Among the first was studying behaviorism, cognitivism, and social constructivism. Before getting into the theories, Golden described us the brief history of education in this country and how certain areas and certain demographics were held at a disadvantage and how their current and past attendance rates affect their graduation and overall success on standardized tests. Lanson Billings profoundly discusses the moral debt and the relationship between the market economy and how we see students grow through typical education in the United States. We're able to see why certain demographics have been viewed as deficient according to their standardized tests, and how race and social class play a role in a student's associations with reading, and how teachers associate with success and literacy when it comes to certain demographics. Now we're able to understand why attendance is a huge factor for schools in earning their funding, why standardized tests are so important and crucial to school success and funding, as well as how educational philosophies affect teacher attitudes and administration attitude towards students. One of the first theories we are exposed to is that of behaviorism by B.F. Skinner. Education is viewed as a visible and learned behavior. Teachers would teach directly using repetitive drills and have to see a change in speech or written language. Behaviorism would also mean that students are working to change a behavior or reflect an idea the teacher is trying to instill. This includes a series of positive and negative consequences associated with the behaviors in which students will then learn from. Although for many years educators implemented behaviorism in their practice, and they still do, soon after Piaget's theory of cognitivism became the trend. Cognitivism focuses on learning through the use of memory, analysis, and thinking about ideas internally. Information is then learned through training in depths of the work that they are assigned to do at multiple levels and multiple complexities. Students are expected to memorize and learn the information that they are taught and regurgitate to some extent. Now, we have students in every one of these stages, and depending on which level we teach, it is important that we know which stage our students are going to be at, and which stages they need to be ready for. It is part of our ethical responsibility and professional responsibility to know which stages our students are at so that we can best create instruction that helps meet them at those stages. We should use those stages to our advantage and capitalize on what our students know and can learn. At around this time, Vygotsky introduced social constructivism and social learning. When it comes to this theory, it is all about process, personalization, and creation in order to contextualize what they learn with others. Vygotsky believes that social surroundings have just as much influence on learning and what people find meaningful to learn in the first place. One of the key issues interdisciplinarity helps us solve is how to understand and explore the different ways diverse learners learn. For example, students with learning disabilities often benefit from a personalized plan that encourages and requires specific and proven instructional and pedagogical strategies that serve to capitalize and increase student success. Curriculum may offer a backbone to our practice, but the instruction itself must be tailored to fit our diverse learners. Diverse learners include a student with or without a disability. Diverse learning means understanding that students may have different styles of learning and applying knowledge based on their background, language, and social skill sets. Moving forward, this course offered a foundational understanding of how different contents are connected and how I can reach diverse learners. I plan on researching more ways to develop better lessons that not only teach the standards, but cater to diverse learning styles. I want to offer more strategic choice and student choices and provide various forums for students to share their voice. I want to utilize different theories and make sure I can maximize learning.